Elijah. If you're wondering that, okay, why is this still a lady? Why is she still here? Yes, last week we talked about intimacy and sex, and we're going to be rounding that up today. I am Ibuku Bampale, and I'm not alone. I have my fellow usurper with me. Yep, I do remember. And last week we talked about so many things. We answered so many questions, very interesting, funny. I mean, thought-provoking questions, and I'm sure that you guys have learned a whole lot. And if you didn't get to enjoy that, it's never too late. Just check the description below. You'll find a link so that you can go watch that and then enjoy this second part. And of course, we're not alone in the building. We have
My pillow. No, seriously, that was rude. You're not going to acknowledge this.
Why would I acknowledge you? What are you hiding? With your flat, so what are you hiding?
Well, I wanted everyone to see me. Like, look at this.
You're shining, right?
Yeah.
Please, moving on.
This was a gift. Come on, let me. Come on. All right, guys. Moving on.
Okay, so we have our special guest, host slash guest honor with us, Mr. and Mrs Elijah Tanimola. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Let's begin. Mr. and Mrs. Elijah and Elijah Tanimola.
She had to add Elijah. Baby girl.
Wow. Okay, so I'm still basking in what I've learned.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, there's so much to learn about intimacy and
Absolutely.
sex, and it's not just about the intercourse itself. There's a whole lot of self-discipline among other things to learn.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So, based on last week's episode, have you at any point during last week and now thought of getting married because of what we talked about? Nope.
I have to be ready. I mean, it's a lot of
Yeah, I understand, but is this something you anticipate in?
Excuse me, I've anticipated this since like primary 2.
No, really. I was telling a friend of mine, right? I was telling him that an average lady from age 7 knows what her wedding is going to be.
Because that's how we were
We know,
trained.
we even know our address. It's
I
just
know
that
that too.
over the years,
It changes.
it's just that over the years it changes. We start to make adjustments till we get older, and when you now get older, you just find out there's something else. No, I don't want that anymore. I want this one. Yeah. So every lady has that. Has my wedding night going to be? Has my marriage going to be? Many times I'm not thinking of marriage. It's the wedding.
It's the wedding day, and that's when you get it wrong.
Many times.
Okay, before we start delving into marital stuff, let's just continue with the questions. Yes. So, Fade, let you start.
Okay, so where we stopped last week, I'll just go on from there. This one says, okay. Is masturbation a sin?
Let our daddy answer.
Our daddy would know.
This is controversial, really.
Very, very.
But we must be careful about, really. Because there are so many things. The Bible is so silent about sex that we need to be careful about the things we say it's a sin or not a sin. You get what I'm trying to say? And when we talk about masturbation, it is a means of getting yourself aroused and ejaculate and satisfying your sexual urge by yourself. And it can be on the female side and on the male side. But the question is this. I cannot say categorically, because the Bible has not said categorically, that masturbation is a sin.
Oh God, it's tough.
Yeah, I don't do anything that doesn't have a biblical backing. But we can get a clue from what the Bible has said to answer this question. Now, the clue is this. Jesus Christ speaking of the place, he said, if a man looks at a woman lustfully in his heart, he has committed adultery or fornication with that person. That is saying that sex, according to God is concerned, fornication and sexual sin, as God is concerned, as far as God is concerned, is from the heart, the intention. So why did you masturbate? That's the question. Why did you go into masturbation? Why? What prompted you into it? That's what we'll ask. The motive behind it. The reason why you went into it. Now, if it's for you to satisfy your sexual urge, take for instance, maybe you are thinking you have a picture in your head about a woman that you are having sex with, but you can't access physically. So you are doing it and you are imagining the person. Or you are doing it and you are imagining the guy. And you get what I'm trying to say. I hope you understand my description, really. But what I'm saying is, if that is the case, then if you are committing sexual sin with that person.
Imagining lustfully.
Yes, lustfully. Did you get what I'm trying to say? And most of the time, in fact, if not virtually all the time, that is what happens. People have a picture in their imagination. They have a picture, a mental picture in their mind before they do the thing, before they can get themselves aroused and ejaculate or reach arousal. So we must ask that. That's the bottom line. If that is what is happening in your head or in your heart, then you are committing sexual sin. But masturbation as an act has not been described in the Bible in any way. So we can't say it's a sin. But what is behind that masturbation?
The motive.
The motive. When Jesus Christ came, he tried to not really abolish the law in the sense of abolish the law, but to fulfill it in the sense of bringing in the intention of God even from the beginning. So the intention of God was to look at the heart of the man. What is happening in your heart? If I'm laughing, if I'm smiling at you now, and I'm thinking evil, God is seeing my heart. So God will judge me by my heart, from my heart, not by my acts. Yes. So it has to be what has triggered that heart. What is the content of your heart? So if the content of your heart, which most of the time that is the content of your heart is wrong, then you are committing sexual sin. But if I know there are few cases that is recommended for a guy really maybe to masturbate. Maybe there's a pain, a genital pain or a scrotal pain and things like that or something like that.
So that's true.
That is true. It's just a rare case really, and sometimes people get that. People get that. Maybe it's a medical recommendation or something. Then it means that you don't have that picture in your mind before doing it. Did you get what I'm trying to
So
say?
a lot of guys, I've heard a lot of guys say that it's painful. Come and help me. I heard a lot of
Yeah.
that they say.
But sometimes it's just that they are doing it. They are using that as a cover up. It's not that, and it's not that serious most of the time. Yeah, it's not that serious. There are things that you can do, exercises can do to actually wear off the pain, except if it's the extreme that maybe it's recommended or something. But you must understand that what is the bottom line, the heart, the content of the heart. Yes, and most cases that is what justifies your heart. You're saying.
How do I know if the person I'm dating is sleeping with other people?
Okay. I think that should be a lady's question.
Why you? Yeah.
Because a guy really
And
Asks that, right?
no,
It's
don't say that.
possible.
No, it's possible. It's possible.
Okay, let me look at how do I know if the person I'm dating is sleeping with other people?
a guy can be wondering. That's true.
It's a guy.
Actions.
Oftentimes, it's a guy that will wonder.
No.
A lady
Both ways.
is
A lot
both
of-
ways.
see, a lot of ladies are so insecure.
Insecure,
That even
and
when
we
he's
don't
not
have
cheating, they are already
anything.
saying, "Where's he going? Are you sure?"
No,
he's
we
not
even
saying?"
have. They have generally most women, even the society, have this notion of men must cheat.
So she's already expecting him to
Him to
cheat. So
cheat.
she's preparing to catch him.
Catching.
So it's
I'm sorry. Before we go into this, something pop up in my head now about the masturbation thing. I think sometimes married men to do it. Perhaps they could not access their wives, and they
And
just they
cheat,
don't want to
really.
cheat. So what they are fantasizing in their head is about their wife, really. So it's not about someone else. So it's not fornication, it's not adultery and things like that. So they do sexting. You know, that's
Okay,
sexting.
yeah.
People will be testing themselves
Yes.
just to have a feel of themselves, husband and wife, because they cannot physically access themselves.
That's what he just said. Just reminded me of something. I called a friend of mine. she's married. Called a friend of mine, and she picked the call on the other phone. I think she was having a sex talk with her husband. Her husband was not there. I was like, really? Like you guys should just get off.
Sorry, I don't know why
I just tripped off. Like I listened for some time. Like it was.
Yeah. There are times that people cannot access themselves. Say, for instance, a military guy that's been on the to another place for 4 years, 2 years, 3 years.
The husband is in US.
In
The wife
US,
is
he
the
cannot
wife.
come home, and
The wife
the
is
papers of the wife is not ready and things like that. So how do you keep yourself from temptation?
So let's not.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's not go too far.
Yeah,
How can you tell if your partner is
it's
cheating
cheating on you. Let's hear from the lady's side. For let's say, oh, I'm the guy, and I'm wondering, how can I tell if you are cheating on me?
Actually, personally as a person, is it that I feel like you can't cheat on me, or like I feel so secure in the relationship that such things don't really
Come up in your mind.
it does not even come up in my mind, because personally I think I have a spec of the kind of people I go out with.
So, and the spec you have is
So I'm
the
your-
highest spec.
So I'm your
Ever.
spec. Ha!
I beg Jerry, like I don't know, I don't even know how to. It was not. There's a place of trust that comes naturally. One, then I'm always. They cheat me. I don't even know how to.
With what you're saying, there's something I and my colleague in the office say that I don't. It's not that I trust my man 100%, but I trust the words that are spoken upon his life.
Like
Mm.
And
exactly.
then one example that we give is war room, when the woman's husband was about to cheat, and she was prompted to pray, and she was saying, if he's doing any wrong thing now, Holy Spirit, take control, things like that. So I feel
That's how I just like.
based on that.
I just like. It can't. It won't. It can't.
If it
God will not allow him to even do it. So I want to try and put myself in them. Go out with the kind of person that you can trust, and you yourself can trust God to work on his life. Because if he's not born again, if he does not know God, I cannot be praying for him that will not cheat, and God will answer that kind of prayer. He will cheat.
God
Right.
can actually, but it's not easy because her husband was not a Christian.
Like,
They were not
you
exactly
think-
Christians in that
You
way.
are in the kind of person that does not see it
I
as
think you should get a
wrong.
point, right?
I get her
I
point.
think a lot of young
You should
people-
pray for him
I think
being
a lot
born
of
again.
again
people-
than for me to say
a
should
lot
not
of
be.
young people go into marriage with the mindset of
I will change it.
I will change it.
And that's like the worst.
The
Not to
worst
yourself to
way.
missionary.
You see, a friend
The
of
mission field.
or I was looking at someone's status of recent, and the person said, "You guys should stop this missionary dating thing. It
Exactly.
doesn't work. Oftentimes it doesn't. You're trying to date this person to convert this person. It doesn't work. Oftentimes it ends in tears, premium tears.
Premium tears.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some people, it doesn't end until they get into marriage.
They don't realize it.
So now, why would I marry a prayer? A prayer. Do you get?
See,
Why-
like
Why do I
that's the
have to
question.
marry
Someone that
somebody
you have to be
and I'd have to be praying, God, every day, help me to make this head.
God,
Like, if I'm going to
imagine
pray,
you
let
have
us-
a female visitor, you now start praying like,
God,
God, don't let him see
see
this
this one.
one, no. Don't let him be attracted to this one, no. God, as you know, some men they anything,
men actually, yes,
they don't even
they
care
lack
about the age.
self-control.
They don't care about anything. So you now start hypertension on you,
You now
man.
start praying.
You
God,
know,
God,
and you
please.
yourself, you put
this
yourself
trip-
under a bondage.
Okay, he's traveling. You're like, God, I don't even know where he's
It's
going,
going
to.
to.
Blind his eyes from other women.
That reminds me of what one of my mentors said, Reverend Herbert Odwole. He said, your partner can either be a prayer point or a prayer partner. So a prayer, you get the drift.
Oh my God.
So the point is, most of the time people have this wrong mindset that marriage cures lust. No.
I think that's why a lot of people go into
Yeah.
marriage like, let me get married so I can do this thing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Or
What
you
marriage
change when you
does,
get there.
what marriage does is, it only gives you a legal grant to express your lust. So when that lust is coming up, you have your wife, you have your husband. can officially do it without being afraid. But the point is this: you still need self-control, because when that woman is not there, what happens?
What happened?
When that man is not there, what happens? Even when the woman is not ready, when she's tired or she's pregnant and the pregnancy is under threat, what happens? So the lust will be fueled and you have to go outside.
The reason for the marriage is
Yes.
wrong.
Yes. So how do I know whether it's cheating? Like she said, trust. Build trust.
Build trust, one.
Build
Then
trust.
first thing
Build
first,
trust.
someone you can trust, God upon his life. Because I believe personally, I just feel that God will not give me cheats. Like I
But
don't
I feel
decide.
some people don't mean to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we have some people that they don't mean to, but it's like a witch hunt.
But there are
How is that a
telltale
witch
signs.
hunting?
Yes.
There are telltale
Telltale
signs.
signs.
One of the
Oh.
telltale signs is this. I did a series on how to know when your intimacy is under attack. Now, there are telltale signs. When your communication is dwindling with your partner, your intimacy is under attack. If it's a marriage, when your sexual life is solely an obligation,
No interest.
no desire for one another,
So you're just having sex for
just
recreation.
yes,
because
just for
it's-
obligation. Just let me fulfill my obligation. It's not that you are really desire your partner, then your intimacy is under attack. There are times that when you have unnecessary suspicion, there's lack of trust, your intimacy is under attack. When you find out that sex is the only form of intimacy that you have, then your intimacy is under attack. When you find out that you are living emotionally apart, that you should no longer find pleasure in
Can't
your
connect.
company, you
Can't-
can't connect, your intimacy is under attack. Now, what does this how does this relate to what we are saying? Once your intimacy is under attack, your home, your partner is open, vulnerable to temptation.
Temptation, to any of those things.
But the key form of intimacy is the communication.
Yes, that's the bedrock. In communication, trust, transparency. Yes. So when you notice that those things are now shaky, then your intimacy is under attack. Then your partner can easily cheat.
Even if it's not cheating. You
Yes.
understand?
So
Even
cheating in other ways.
Yes, in other
in
ways.
other ways. Even if it's
Yes.
not like
Even if he's not sleeping around, it's likely the pressure on him now is open to a lot of temptation. It's vulnerable. So that can also be a sign whether he's cheating or not.
And it's not even about you giving him more sex this time around. You know,
It's
some
about
people they
connecting.
It's about the connection.
So it means that most likely he's finding the connection from somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
So that's like emotional cheating.
Yeah.
Because someone I think I put something up on
Yeah, I was about to say that.
emotional cheating,
Yes,
activity cheating,
Yes,
some other
there are a
forms
lot
of
of things
cheating
like
that
that.
are not actually sexual.
Sex, yes, there are some
Wow.
sex. So those are telltale signs. Once you notice that, then it means that he's either cheating or you are is exposed to the possibility of cheating.
Okay, let's move on to our next question. This one is quite straightforward. She says, I want to believe she's a female, and I don't know if I'm just being maybe my mentality
Because
is
most
tuned by our
times,
society.
Okay.
Because it's usually ladies that like to ask this kind of question. He says, what can I expect on my first night as a virgin? Or first night of sex? Or let's just say wedding night as a virgin. What can I expect?
Expectation.
I think my wife should answer that.
Okay.
She married me I married her as a virgin, really. So,
Expectation.
she
Let's stop with the expectation. I had a different expectation actually, because naturally it's the praying time. So the day of our wedding night, this no seriously.
Are you bringing this
I'm
up?
bringing it up. So I felt like I had time. Like we will pray for a long time. Like
Because it's a praying
yeah,
person, you're like,
the shortest prayer we was ever prayed during our courtship. Baby, to 30 minutes, man. So I was thinking that by the time we finish the wedding, by the time we get to the hotel, we want to prepare of Thanksgiving, that it was a success. By that time, and they were preparing for a party for us at the place. So I was thinking time would have gone, blah 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 blah. I was kind of I've read a lot of things. I was trying to do like there's nothing there now. And we just got to the hotel.
That
It
wedding
was-
night.
That way,
You
way.
guys very tired.
No, let me just keep. We
Ah,
got there.
hey.
Let me. I'll come in. No,
Tired?
as in,
All right.
it was so. We knelt down. I was like, okay, let's pray. And before 1 minute, just was going to pray. No, I mean, I was still close. I was still expecting that maybe preamble like possible now, like, and it was. And when I finished, I was like, possible cafe, and it was already. And I started coming up with different excuses. And we're having a party in the night. I don't want to be working somehow.
That's hilarious.
It was as in this. But one thing that actually helped was he has read a lot. I'm quite knowledgeable, but there's this kind of shyness that just comes upon you. And the way he took it actually also helped. I think it was actually one of those things that actually helped our own sex life. It was not awkward. I don't know how to put it.
Like it made you feel comfortable.
Comfortable, okay. Let's go and have a shower. Blah blah blah. Like it was not okay. It's just take your time. And I was like, okay, it was not just after like, oh yeah, let's do the thing. It was not awkward. There is a feeling of gradually. I think maybe you saw that I'm kind of. I felt before the time I felt like nothing new. But when it was so the way I will feel might be different from the way someone else will feel. I think it's a personal. I started feeling conscious of my body, like what they worry me somebody. You understand? Like see finish, like I was there is this consciousness that just I have this me that I can talk anything. But the way we took it and the things we have read, we have talked about also helped me. And he didn't take it from like now let's enter. There's a way. So I think it's more of a personal thing to me.
Yeah, like she said, that's important. If the person is a female, then talk to your guy. Let him go and learn.
Let him go.
A lot of us, because we are spiritual, we think this thing is spiritual. It's spiritual, but the point is more of skill. It's not just the love. People think, because we love ourselves, we connect, the sex will be good. No, it's not just about the connection. It's about the skill and the knowledge. Because if you connect well and you just bounce, it will bounce back.
In fact, on your wedding night, maybe still looking for.
There was a couple that for 4 days they didn't touch themselves.
The hole. Which hole?
Yes, which hole should I enter?
Which hole should I enter? There are different holes now.
Yes, a woman has 3 holes
Exactly now.
that are close. Now at least 2 of them are close, and you want to know which one should I enter, especially when the woman is a virgin. So both are still closed in a way. So you are still finding the hole.
Imagine.
Like ultimate search. But the point, but really, what I'm saying is this: let's get the right knowledge. I didn't know it by experiment. I read books. I read the Act of Marriage. I read the Model Marriage. So I knew quite a number of things about the woman anatomy, and we did it together. That is, we were patient. Now, patience is also key. If the guy is patient, then there will be less pain. Because I won't say there won't be pain, there will be pain. But when the patience is there and you cool down their anxiety, because there's tendency to be anxious. It's the first time. You don't know what to expect. You don't know how it will be. You don't know how you will feel. Whether you will like it or you won't like it. So, but when the man is patient and say, oh, calm down, it will work out fine. Or the woman is, because there are times that it's the woman that will need to calm the guy. I'm telling you. There was a couple that for 4 days they didn't touch themselves. 4 days. After marriage, the guy was shy. The guy couldn't move close. Because the guy was shy. He's a spiritual brother. You get it now? Spiritual. Spiritual. You get what I'm saying? But the point is this. She said, I pray for 1 minute. I was anticipating it. I was ready. Because this is the time to release now.
I was shocked.
It's like you praying for 30 minutes when you want to eat. You get me? Just
This was
short,
a shocker.
short,
I
short,
don't know.
yeah, short.
I was,
You get me?
I was even, I was feeling it
Another
down,
thing
like,
is I've been preparing our mind even from the reception hall.
yeah, you're fucking dead.
Yes, I was no, not dirty. I was whispering the
Forget
sexy.
it. Yeah, it was
Because now we are legal. We have now we now have the legal rights to talk about those things raw.
He came to meet me going to the church and said, Tola, let me give you one song. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, Tola, me one. Even, dun, dun, I was like, what kind of, like,
No, we talk.
it was,
So that
it
prepared.
was
That prepared our minds that we are not going to the room to just be looking at
Look at
ourselves.
We
You get
wanted
now,
to utilize everything.
we are going to the room to do the thing.
Man,
But if you want to decide to rest,
Yeah, you can rest.
rest.
It's just understanding.
understanding.
Don't force it. If the woman is tired, if the guy is tired, just take your time. You still have a lot of years to do that.
So don't spoil it.
So don't spoil the show with I want to do great. In
In
fact, that night you may not even have entrance.
you might not even have the sex.
You may not even have they are especially for the virgin. You may not have entrance the first time. So even if you don't have entrance, then do other things. Do other things.
Entrance, I don't get it.
Like you might not
Having
actually
the
need
sexual
sex
intercourse. The place may be too
tight.
tight.
So
That is
just
paining
do
the
what
girl, so the lady. So
Just
do other things and enjoy yourselves. And subsequently, you'll be
Just
trying, and with time, it will just be like
because we have some ladies that are extremely
tight.
tight.
Yeah.
So this
Okay. I think we have just one more question.
Oh, that's
okay,
great.
that's good.
I'll leave the people to take that.
Okay.
Is it right as a Christian to accommodate my fiance, knowing fully well how I feel around her?
The question is, how do you feel around him?
Is
Okay,
it-
around him.
Mm,
Okay, the lady now.
yes.
Is it right to accommodate him, knowing fully well how I feel around me? If you feel around him that you are not secure around him, then don't do it. You get what I'm trying to say? Because we are now in a dynamic generation. Time has gone when you say only meet yourself in the church.
in the church.
Because there's a lot of dynamism with our generation now. People are well brought up in those generations.
These days.
But these days, you need to know people
All
closely.
training is far.
You
Like
get what I'm trying to say?
you meet some people and
Now,
you're
you know
like
that
thanking God like I had what call me.
those days, you know.
You know that you'll be happy
Those
like
days, you are sure that people are really trained. But these days, people are not trained.
People are too busy chasing money.
Yes.
to find their kids.
So they are not trained. So you can't really know them from afar. Now, I'm not saying that you put yourself in a vulnerable position that you go into sexual act and impurity, but I'm saying that get to know the person. Get to know the person, because there are times that, take for instance, you don't know the person when he's broke.
at all. You don't know.
So you don't know his reaction when he's broke. Because when the girl is coming for a visitation, the guy has already prepared.
Everything works.
Oh, Gara now. So he will prepare everything. There's juice in the fridge, there's water, there's everything set. You go out and spend on you. But the point is, do you know him when he's broke? Do you know his reaction when he's broke? Can you accommodate his reaction when he's broke? Do you know him when he's angry? There are some people that when they are broke, they are brutal. No, I'm telling you.
Makes them get
Oh, God. Anything
And
that doesn't work out smoothly.
where they want to.
You do get what I'm trying to say now. So you must know the person in those dimensions. That's when you know the pressure, how far the person can handle pressure.
when he's angry, how does he? You know, I've seen a lady that said that they said anytime she's angry, she starts
Breaking things.
And you've not seen her in that
In
kind
that
of
position, because you
before.
only see once in a while.
All you do
And when you
is
see once in a while, you just slap, go to cinema, go to eatery, and all that.
You saw a guy that was angry with what's it called, a crawl attendant, and he slapped her.
Somebody that doesn't send.
Yeah. So the point is, we are in dynamic generation. So we must know ourselves closely. But you must be careful that when you are trying to know people closely, don't put yourself in a vulnerable position. The Bible says flee. Did you get what I'm trying to say? So flee. So can you accommodate him if you know you feel vulnerable around him? Please don't do it. Meet in a public place where you can talk. Meet in where you have other people around that can that can be a check around you and things like that. And meet when perhaps in a public in an open place where you can also talk about real things. Don't just talk about real things. People don't talk about real things these days. And that's why you see people spending years in dating and you find that they are married and they don't know anything about marriage. How? Do nothing.
Nothing.
Because all they did was eatery, all they did was cinema, all they did. I'm not saying those things are wrong, but I'm saying that you didn't talk about the core things. Because whether you like it or not, people do fantasy under dating, but people don't know that whether you like it or not, when you get married, reality will dawn on you. Whether you invite it or you don't invite it will set in. Children will set in. Responsibilities will set in. There will be times that you'll be upset. There will be times that you misunderstand yourselves. How can you handle misunderstanding? How can you handle conflict resolution?
Okay.
I think we are finishing on this serious
note.
Yeah.
I'm loving this note that
No. It's real. It's real. That's one of the challenges we have with this generation. That's why marriages are broken up. They're broken up like nothing. And when you ask them what is causing this thing, it's absurd. You see people that the cause of their marriage is their parents. Don't you understand that you need to build independence, a sense of independence before you get married? The Bible says, because a man shall leave his father and his mother. You must be able to take independent decisions. Can your guy take independent decisions from his mother? Do you look at that? Because if he cannot, that mother will control your marriage. And that's why people are suffering. Why? They don't talk about serious things. Say, for instance, before I got married, I made a decision. I said, I won't go to bed without resolving any conflict I might have with my wife. And that's what I do. Whether I'm at fault or she's at fault, I make sure that we resolve it. And that's the decision. Because I value peace. And when we are saying heaven on earth marriage, and I'm clamoring heaven on earth marriage, it doesn't mean that there's no challenges. There will be challenges. But heaven on earth marriage means that in every challenges we are more than conqueror. We know what to do. We know how to do it. We have the right sense. We have the right faith, and we have the right God behind us.
And I also feel like when you have conflicts, it's an opportunity for you to know each other better,
to know the limits that the person can do and the limits that the person cannot go. But when all you do is talk about the latest designs, the latest whatever, and you don't talk, how do you now know? The only thing you do is cinema.
I just worry how we've lost it so much.
I'm telling you.
Thinking about
I'm telling you. You know, I've had opportunity to talk with a number of people, and when I hear the things that are causing trouble in their homes, I look at in their relationship, what are you talking about?
Like it's not that important. It's like
these are things that you should know before you set in. And one of the terrible things that we are now seeing now is this: people, because they are clouded by emotional feelings, we're telling them the real thing, and they won't see it.
Because they're not thinking clearly and logically.
See, there's a very popular saying that the wrongest person to advise is someone you love. Don't advise the person you love.
But love is blind. Marriage will clear it.
No, love is not even blind.
Marriage will make you. Marriage will make it open. Marriage is the miracle that will heal your blindness.
So speaking about marriages, I think it's high time we just if we don't find a way to wrap up right now, we'll just keep talking.
I guess I'm getting too serious.
It's been amazing. I mean, this is a great way to end today's show. It's been amazing on a serious note. Everybody needs to know the right things. I mean, your relationship, why? What's the goal for your relationship? Are you communicating effectively? Are you open? Are you transparent?
Yeah.
These are key things that we should be talking about in marriage. Is any last words for this episode?
I guess my wife should go first.
Last word. Get to know yourself better. Know you. For you, not just it starts with you. What you don't have, you can give out. That's the first thing. I always say the first thing that comes to me is what I don't have, I can give out. It's from the abundance of what I have that I can give out. then set a standard for yourself. Have a value system of this is who I want, this is what I want. You can't, some people say, I want a Christian brother in a what's that called? In a what? In a hush puppy. You
Yes.
understand? Know what you
Godly
want.
Nicki Minaj.
You get know what you want and be realistic about what you want. Be,
That's key.
be realistic. Is it possible? And is it the God factor? The God factor is the God factor is actually very important. While I was still single, there are guys I will not date, and even if I date it will not pass 2 weeks. 1 month.
So what?
Don't let's just go into that. I think that's my last.
Okay.
Oh, what I want to say is where she ended. I did a teaching on 3 essential stages of intimacy. The first and foundational, build intimacy with God. When you build intimacy with God, you will know the right person that God wants for you, and you see the right things. So when you build intimacy with God, it's very core, it's foundational. That gives you a direction in life. That gives you the right choice to make, and then build interpersonal intimacy. Be friends. I'm not saying marry your friend in the sense of a friend that you already have, but I'm saying that marry someone you have that become your friend.
So find a friend.
Yes. So make your partner be your friend before you get married. That is core. Then the last thing is in the marriage, sexual intimacy.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So 3 things that we should be living with: build godly intimacy, build an intimacy with God, interpersonal intimacy with your partner, and most importantly in marriage, sexual intimacy.
And know yourself.
know yourself.
That's
Know
common.
yourself. Know yourself. So it's been great. It's been interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for
Thanks so
having
much,
us.
Lauren. So much serious fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, many of the things that we said on my part, yeah, I knew some, but I didn't know some. Really. Yeah, at least I learned a lot.
And your voice has dropped like you're humbled by the amount of knowledge you gained.
Oh, bless God for that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
So much.
Thank
For sharing so much. And thank you guys for dropping your questions. These questions, I'm sure they're not just going to help you. They're going to help a whole lot of people, because there are many people that are facing these challenges, that have these questions on their minds, but there's nobody they can talk to, because of course sex talk is a private talk or something like that. So yes, if you have other things, other words of advice, other things you'd like to say, you can drop them in the comment section. And yes, don't worry. Don't worry, we'll not take over the show for too long. Mr. Elijah will be here to... Yes.
For the married people.
Yes.
Myself and the people are not married, actually, but soon to be. Before you start asking.
Well, God knows that soon is not our soon.
No, don't worry. It may be sooner than you
You don't know the soon you get.
But we'll trust that we'll be there to grace the occasion.
Yes, so we're both not married, but then we'll be coming back with a new segment, and this one will be for the married people. It doesn't leave out the singles, actually. We're still free to join, we're still free to watch, because of course we're anticipating marriage. So some of the things that will be discussed in that segment will definitely be learned from that.
Alright, so it's been fun. I'm sure it's been fun for you too. And it's on this note that we say have a beautiful day. And yes, look forward to next episode where I'll be talking to the married people and to you if you're single. I mean, you have to prepare for marriage. It's very key. So yes. Alright, have a
acknowledge my pillow for God's sake.
Why is this? What is it with you and this pillow?
This pillow is
Don't let this fight
me. This is my partner at the moment.
I don't know what to say. Okay, just take care.